All right. Hello, everyone. I'm Greg. This is the July 6th Pro Board meeting. Let's see here. Looks like we only have maybe one other board member at the moment. I know a second or a third one is coming. But we'll start off with any public comment. So is there any public comment? Now's your time. All right. Not hearing anything. So as far as the minutes, we'll have to wait till next month, correct?
Correct.
Yeah. So we can't approve the minutes since we don't have a quorum. So I will keep moving on. And the next item was the introduction of our new Pro Board member. And she looks like she's having some difficulty getting on the call at the moment. So we can go back to that. All right, so old business. So we have a scheduled tree planting. Just a reminder, it's scheduled for October 1st and October 2nd. It's going to take place at Crossan Park and Franklin Preserve. Oh, sorry. So just a couple updates there. We did receive the funding check from the Doc Stater Foundation. We are currently working on some quotes to get some signage to kind of explain what's going on with the tree planting and the process. We did get one quote, but we got a couple more that we're just trying to gather to get, a few different quotes. Sorry, I'm admitting people as we go. So yeah, we just we're waiting on a couple things with that. The tree nursery stated that they're going to have an increase of costs for their fall trees, and those won't, the pricing won't be available until later, at the earliest later this month. So that's going to kind of, tell us how much we would need, if more. Most likely we either are going to need more funding, so we can either reach out to the foundation. We could also go with, fewer trees. So there's a few options we can do there. But we're waiting to hear back from them as far as what species are available and what all the costs will be for that. So Heather, are you there? Were you able to join us?
I am here.
Okay. Well, thank you for making it. So if you're okay with it, I was just going to kind of let you tell us a little bit about yourself. Heather Robbins Doss is our newest addition to the Pro Board. And maybe you could just, give us an idea of, what interest you have in joining the Pro Board.
Okay. Hi, everybody. It's a little weird without seeing any faces here, but I'm having some challenges with my camera too. I am a 19-year resident, 20, I think now, of the township, and we have a farm on Chesterville Road, and very pro open space, no pun intended, and looking forward to participating on that level, as well as love landscaping and preservation. We have enrolled our farm in one of the open space programs, and would like to see more of the township do the same and promote that, as well as helping to take care of the open spaces that we have, the parks and areas like Crossan, and we're right across the street from the start of Franklin Preserve, and have used it a lot well before it was sold to the township. But I'm just excited to be a part of all things Franklin Township. And I don't know, I guess I guess that's the main reason for wanting to participate.
Awesome. Well, thank you for joining. We're excited to have you as a new addition and work with you. So let's see here. So we do have 1, 2. Looks like we only still have, oh, Mary, I'm just trying to figure out how many members of the pro board we have here. Do we have four total members?
Yeah, I think so.
All right. So we have Mary, we have Heather, we have me. Who's the fourth?
Kyle.
Oh, is Kyle on here?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm here. I'm under
Okay.
my daughter's name.
Okay, great. All right, well, I'll move back to the approval of minutes. I'll make a motion to approve the June meeting minutes. Can I have a second?
I second.
All right, thank you, Mary. All in favor, say aye.
Hi.
Aye. Any opposed, say nay. All right, minutes approved, 4-0. All right, I'm jumping around a little bit here, but I'll go back to old business. Good old healing garden. So we've had many, more than I can count, volunteer days. There's been some great volunteers who've taken action on their own and come out to help with the weeding, the mulching. We were making some major progress there. We did employ Red Tail Restoration to do part of the mulching, or the weeding and the mulching, I should say. We again did get a donation for maintenance, so that they didn't cover the full amount. We still have roughly about $1,000 left, a little over $1,000 left from that donation for the maintenance of the gardens. As far as where we are, we have, I would say, about a quarter of, there's four major quadrants, and we have about a quarter left of that needs to be mostly mulched. So I've been getting out there as much as I can. If anyone's interested in joining me, I would love to have some assistance. But yeah, we just have a tiny bit left. I mean, there's always going to be more weeding. There's always going to be more work to do. But the gardens are looking really good. And we just need, another layer of mulch in this one quadrant, and hopefully it'll, cover us for the majority of the rest of this season. See if I had anything else there. All right, yeah, that's it. That's all I had on the healing garden. Oh, I'm sorry. The FSA is also helping us out, so shout out to them. They are working on doing the mulching of the perimeter of the healing garden. So thank you guys.
I heard back from the master gardeners.
You did hear back?
I did, and they said that they don't help maintain community gardens.
Okay. Well, it's good to know at least. And thank you for reaching out to them. Yeah, you got further than I did. I didn't even get a response, so. All right, so moving on. Memorial benches. Doesn't look like Jennifer made the call. She's kind of been taking the lead on that project. So I will say that we were able to get one of the benches replaced in the playground section at Crossan Park. That was not a memorial bench, but that was a bench that needed repair. It was falling apart. So that was a pressing issue that was taken care of. All right, next up, the volunteer garden plots at Crossan Park. So Kyle, are you able to pull it up, or I can pull it up? I actually downloaded it. Are you able to kind of talk us through it?
Yeah, you can pull it up and then I'll go through it.
Okay. And just to just to make everyone aware, we've got a few different groups of volunteers that are maintaining garden plots throughout Crossan Park. Multiple people thought it was a good idea to kind of express, that these plots are being maintained through a plaque at each of their plots. So let me pull this up here. Oh, here we go. Thank you. All right. All right. So Kyle, you want to take it from there and I'll just scroll through as you go? Or do you want me to just
All right,
kind of,
well, my thinking of, well, just hold on. My thinking of when I started to do this, I thought I want to get something that we can use in the healing garden so they kind of match, or they kind of match what we use for the trees. So I checked with Weather and Wind, who we get the tree ones from, and they don't carry anything that they can use, we can use in the gardens. So I kind of had to go a different direction. So this is one of them. I talked to the company, and it comes in 7 different colors. We can get whatever we want written on it. It's $22 for a small and $30 for a large. And they have a 3.5 by 6 or a 6 by 9. So that's one idea. You can go to the next slide. Greg?
I
you hear me?
scrolled. Do you want me?
Oh, okay, there it is. Now this is a little one that I saw when I was in a garden in South Carolina. So I thought, it's just a piece of metal, and then you make a card like I showed. And then you put it's got a plastic thing, like a plastic sleeve on it, and then you just slide the card in there. So I thought, and they're not very expensive. So that's another idea. All right, go to the next page.
Should be there now.
Yeah, this is another one. These run about $12. They're 3 by 5. It's sort of like the along the first line, except it's not as fancy. All right, go to the next one. Same thing. It comes in a different size. It's oval rather than square. You can go to the next one. Now this one I picked because it goes in line with, kind of looks like the one we use for the trees, except I don't know if we want to spend $55. You can go to the next one. So I, kind of did tended by and adopted by. The problem with this one, you can't put too many characters in it, so it's kind of hard wording wise what we want to use. You can go to the next one. This is just another example, 4 by 5. This one's $15. Go ahead. And then, now this one's from Etsy. It's $13. I contacted the guy who makes them and I have not heard from him to see if we could put on what we wanted to put on. So, and then keep going. And then these are 2 more examples of like the first one where you just, make whatever you want to write on it, put it on a card and then put it on the sign. So this would be easy, if we used it for the healing garden, so we would, all be the same. So, I just made that card real quick, as an example that you could, however you wanted to do it. And these run, they're not very expensive. They're what, $7, $8 a piece. Is that the last slide or is there another one?
Looks like there's one more at least. Yeah, last one's here.
Oh, yeah, yeah, the last one. And I also talked to this company, I think. Yeah, they run about $28 for the smaller one, and the bigger one is $32. So I don't know. What are your thoughts? Which ones do you like and which ones don't you like? And
Yeah, well, first, thank you for doing all this research and putting this together. Personally, I mean, my vote, I would say maybe either this Etsy one. Let's see here, of course. So it's a decent, not too bad cost. I think
well, yeah, but I mean, I don't think that the 2 by 3.5 is not very big. You would have to go for the 5 by 7 at least, I would think.
5 by 7, $17. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's still not bad compared to, I think that one that was 50
Well, this
something.
one's 6 by
too much.
9. Yeah, yeah.
I don't know, what's everyone else think? Anyone else have any opinion or thoughts?
Yeah, I was looking at the first, can you go back to the first one, option 1? Yeah. Okay, and then just, so I like, okay, option 2. You can see, I mean, just go, if you could do it quickly, I just wanna, not just see them all. Could you do the
The
next?
first one.
Yeah, okay. Do the next one. Okay, so I like, okay. I like, yeah, I like what you like, Greg. I'm trying to remember what we had. I don't like these little sticky things. I like the spike. I think that's a stronger, will stay in the ground. As opposed, I see these things sometimes move around because you have the 2 sides. So, yeah, that one's just too expensive.
Well, how about what's the first one? I think the first one might, I've talked to the company on the first one. This guy has never responded to me when I messaged him. So I don't know, I don't know anything about Etsy.
Yeah, I don't like.
Whereas the other one is a company, that does it.
Yeah, I don't like the screws in like when I look at the other ones, you have the option that Greg picked. It's the spike, which is good. And there's
You don't like the screw.
no, I think the screw, these could get, I mean, I know they say they don't rust, but they could get wet and then they start rusting but this at least here is a spike. It's, I don't know what it's made of, but I'm assuming it's not gonna, like this is permanent, right? It's not gonna go anywhere. I worry about the ones where you slip the card in, that you're gonna get, the water will get in there, or bugs will get in there, or dirt will get in there. These other people, that's just so mine. I'm with Greg on this one. Anybody else have some thoughts?
Heather or Mary, you guys?
Yeah, I was gonna say, I agree. And I think, at least going 5 by 7,
Yes.
Yeah.
at minimum, because, I mean, especially like with the stake there on this particular one we're looking at, it doesn't stand up that far from the ground. And, I think the point of putting the plaque there is that we can read it,
Right, yeah. Yeah, 2 by 3.5 inches is super tiny, so that would be too small.
Right. Now, I personally have had great experiences with different people on Etsy, different businesses. Obviously that's all different, but the ratings that people put on there are very legitimate. So it's kind of easy to see, how well someone has been. No, not right now.
Right. So yeah, maybe we just make sure the reviews are good on
you know, and knowing, you know, maybe if it, you know, if you follow up with this person, if they do finally get back to you, you know, knowing what it's going for, you know, they might, I mean, I don't know how many plaques total we're thinking might be needed, but a lot of times they'll work, you know, they'll work with you on pricing. It's not always a set deal.
I would, as far as the number of plaques, I think we would either need 3 or 4.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay, so probably not like a bulk discount or anything, but you know.
Yeah. This wasn't a single person. This was like, I think it was called Garden Maniacs or something. Like they had tons and tons of different ones. So they must do a decent business.
Is 30
Okay.
characters gonna be enough? Maybe we pay more for a few more characters. I think you can use 30 characters up pretty quickly, right? Maybe not.
say
Wow,
that
we have-
again.
It says 30 characters. I'm just
Right.
wondering if we'll run out of character, if we'll need more characters to do what we want to write, like
Yeah, I thought about that. I mean,
maybe you
trying to remember what the tree ones were, but I think it was close to that.
Okay.
You just kind of gotta be creative and short, you know, with your wording.
Well, that was the other thing. I mean, I've done adopted and maintained. I did lovingly cared for. I mean, I don't know what we want to say either.
Right.
adopted is short.
Yeah, adopted by so and so.
Yeah, we could do that. Or cared for.
Right. Maintained by. Okay. Mary, did you have any input?
I like that one the best too.
Okay. All right. Well, I guess, do we need to make a motion on this? What do you think, Joe? If we're asking for funding, we probably should. Okay. All right. So I'll make a motion to recommend to the Board of Supervisors that we recommend this Etsy plaque in 5x7 for the volunteer garden plots. Can I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Mary. All those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed, say nay. All right. Motion passes.
Yeah, I know I can't vote, but I would support this at the board meeting. This is
All right.
it's the least we can do for the folks that have taken.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, just to be clear, some of these volunteers have actually not only weeded and planted, but they've also bought plants and, you know, have donated a lot of effort. So yeah, I agree. I think it's the least we could do.
And you know, anyone who loves plants, if they've taken ownership and they see something going wrong, they're not going to sit there and try to nickel and dime you. They're going to get in there and do whatever they have to do to fix it.
Yeah, it's true. Especially if we're putting a plaque with their name on it. They might.
So I think it's going to be very positive on so many different levels.
Nice. Yeah, I agree. All right.
Did we decide what we want to write on it?
Good question. I mean, I like adopted by. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I don't like maintained. It sounds too clinical, like too.
Yeah, I agree. Also more letters in maintained. All right, so you want to say adopted by? Is everyone okay with that?
Yeah, that's
I
fine.
like it.
Okay, great. All right, moving on. All right, so movie night is coming up. It's scheduled for July 16th. We will be showing the Spider-Man movie. I forget No Way Home. It's the new one, I believe. So we will be having a food truck there. There will also be some giveaways. You took that one? Yep. Okay. There'll be some giveaways. There'll be popcorn available for free to guests. So we will need some assistance as far as just parking, right? Yeah, I'll plan on being there. Hopefully, other people, the more the merrier, to help just kind of guide people, make it a smooth evening. But yeah, it should be a good night. Hopefully the weather will hold out for us. Any other thoughts or input, things that I'm not covering? Okay, great.
Is there anything that we can do to help advertise more or?
So it has been shared on social media. The local school has put it on their bulletin board,
Okay,
or on their, what do you call it? The digital electronic board out near the road there. But yeah, I mean, spread the word. You can share on social media. Last time we had a good turnout. So hopefully we'll at least get the same amount, if not more. I've seen other areas, townships do movie nights, and I have to say, I think our screen is probably the best, the best one I've seen. So bigger and better. So yeah, I mean, it was really enjoyable. Last time it was later in the season, so it was a little cold. This time hopefully it'll be perfect for us. All right, so moving on. Just to wrap up, I don't think Paul has made the call. He's taken he was always kind of the lead on the Auburn Road property. But that property went to settlement. Again, that was a 15-acre parcel that now we worked with Natural Lands, and the owners got a conservation easement on the property. Natural Lands wrote a nice article and shared that publicly. So you can find that on the on numerous social media sites or on the Natural Lands webpage too. So thank you everyone who was involved with that. All right, moving on to new business. So there was a complaint about some Canada thistle located at Goodwin Preserve. For those that don't know, that's an invasive plant that's listed on the state website as a noxious weed. We've heard this, before, I'd say a few years ago, about the thistle. And, there's definitely recommendations on what we can do there. So I have some information from DCNR and also the U.S. Department of Agriculture. So the Canada thistle, let's see here. So DCNR recommends that management practices limit soil disturbance and encourage diverse native plant communities will help plants prevent establishment of this species. They say mowing does not kill Canada thistle unless repeatedly monthly for up to 4 years. This method is not recommended for natural areas. So, it's a tough plant to manage, but not saying that it can't be managed. It says, in areas interspersed with desirable native plants, targeted application of a systemic herbicide such as glyphosate works well. For extended infestations in disturbed areas, a broad application may be more effective. Repeated applications are usually necessary in order to exhaust the seed bank. Herbicide treatment is best done in late summer or fall when plants are in the rosette stage. And it says varying the type of herbicide will prevent clone colonies from becoming resistant. So, the general gist is they're recommending that, if it's not the majority of the area, to do more of a targeted application. Again, this is, something that would need to be decided on because it's an ongoing process. It's not you get through there one time and you're good to go. This is this has been there for years. Our current mowing schedule is scheduled to have the meadows mowed after August 15th. So as far as, targeted application, we could mow and then target with, a licensed herbicide applicator. So, that would be my thought on the process. I'll read also what the U.S. Department of Agriculture recommends. It says, to eliminate Canada thistle, you must injure and exhaust its root system and do it repeatedly. A successful control program requires multiple seasons and multiple treatments within a season. A well-established ground cover, particularly a grassland planting, greatly aids your control efforts. The most important opportunity for control is the fall, when thistle is recharging its root system for the next growing season. Fall is the ideal time to maximize injury to the thistle's root system. There is no silver bullet for Canada thistle control. Once you accept that you need multiple treatments for multiple seasons, you will find it's a species you can successfully manage. So, that's where that's the recommendations. I went out and took a look at the thistle myself. It's definitely not the majority of the meadow. It is going to seed or in seed right now. You can see all over the place. You see their seeds floating around in the air. So that's my thoughts. Does anyone else have any input as far as the pro board or anyone else want to chime in on this?
Hey, I'm Sam Goodwin. I'm the landowner right next to the preserve. And what I can see here is that we're surrounded by agriculture down in that area. And those guys are doing it for profit. With costs the way they are, they're probably going to have Canadian thistle in their crop this year, which means they're going to have to spray again. I thought that maybe if we could mow it once before it goes to seed and then leave it until the end of season or whatever, it might do something a little better than it is now, because it looks like a snowstorm when it's nice and dry out there.
Yeah.
And you're just blowing it on everybody else. Right across the street, there's a sterile bean field, and now it's probably going to grow up in thistle, or it's going to have some in it, and they're going to have to run over that property again at $55 an acre to spray that down. I mean, just my take on it.
No, I appreciate it. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely at seed now, as you know. I just think if we're going to do it, we should do it per the recommendations, and really try to eliminate it. I know it's more of a long-term attack on it, but I mean, if we mow it now, it's going to come back. Like they're literally telling us that mowing it is not the way to get rid of it. So I mean, I understand that it's a serious problem. I understand that it probably, it's going to keep growing. So it's something that I would recommend that we deal with. It's just my opinion that we stick with what the recommendations are from DCNR and the USDA. Does anyone else have any thoughts or?
Well, to a point, I would personally like to see it mowed and then baled off. That way we get the majority of the seeds out of there, so we're not polluting the rest of the community. Because I'm pretty sure that my neighbor is going to complain about how my preserve, the Goodwin Preserve, is polluting his hayfield. And I need not hear that nonsense.
Yeah.
Because I'm not in control.
Sure. No, I understand.
Yeah, I'm just looking for, a little help here from the township as far as, can we be stewards of the land, but also keep the landowners around it happy? Is there a happy medium that we can get to?
Yeah. And that's, I think that's the key is to keep the neighbors happy, but, you know,
Right. I
be a
mean,
good steward of the land.
right.
Help me understand, if it's already gone to seed, does mowing it make any sense right now? It just looks like you would just distribute more seed.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of how I see it. I mean, I was there, I don't know, a week ago, and it was floating in the air. So it's at seed. It's, you know, I'm sure there's still more flowers that could go to seed after, since I've been there, or, you know, but at this point, I would say we mow it. I mean, this is my opinion is we mow with our schedule, and then look at actually addressing it through the recommendations.
So spray it in the fall.
Yeah, and again, that would be a targeted spray.
Right.
You know, I should have loaded up the pictures. I took some pictures. There are, you know, bigger patches for sure, but we wouldn't need to go and spray the entire field is my point.
Yeah, I hate thistle with the rustias. I despise it. It's just horrible. But I hear what you're saying. You got to get the roots, and you got to do what you have to do to wear down the roots, because if not, the thing comes back stronger than ever.
Right. Right. And just to be clear, I mean, I know, you know, thistle gets a really bad name, but there are some good thistles out there that are native that aren't invasive. The one we're talking about is an invasive. But there are tons of great thistles out there. So don't hate all thistle.
All right. I'll have to be more selective.
Yeah, but the majority of the ones you see and deal with are probably the invasive ones, and that I understand why you would hate it for sure.
Greg, I think you had a question from a resident. You wanna ask her?
And Tia, did you have a question? I'm sorry, I didn't see that if you did.
Yeah, I just was going to say, there are medicinal uses for that thistle. And if you can find a holistic practitioner that would want to dig those roots out, that could be helpful before you spray it with any chemicals, because it would damage the roots.
Yeah, that would, I mean, anyone
I know
who,
there's people up in Westchester that come out and actually like forage and go through the fields and dig it up. So
yeah, that would be, I mean, if you know of anyone, definitely send them our way. We could have them harvest beforehand, or, you know, any way of
Anything
cutting it
damage-
back.
I mean, it would damage the root system. So, which is the goal, right?
Right. Yeah. The goal is to, yeah. I mean, if you just trim it, you really, that's what they're saying with the recommendation, that mowing it, you know, unless you're mowing it over and over again, like it's a lawn, really isn't gonna get rid of it. All right. Well, does anyone else have any questions or input? I mean, I think this is something that, you know, that does need to be dealt with, but I think, I mean, again, my opinion, the approach of just trying to quickly mow it out there is short-sighted as far as the management. You know, I would recommend we mow with our current schedule of August 15th. And then we look for a fall or late summer herbicide treatment on the actual targeted areas.
Hey, Greg, I got a question, please.
Sure.
Looking at what you're saying with Goodwin Preserve, and knowing things that go on, I have a farm right across the street. Is this something that you're looking to do through all the open space, to like a general maintenance?
Are you referring to like thistle maintenance or management?
Yeah, anything like that? I'm kind of curious because I mean, obviously the township has a lot of property out there, and I know you're doing, a lot of different things to try to help. And I agree with that, but is that something that will just keep going on?
Yeah, I mean, well, I mean, like I read, it's difficult to remove. It's not something that's just a one time, you get it and it's gone. So it would be an ongoing process. And to be clear, we're in an area that invasive plants are a huge factor, a huge problem. I walked through when I went through to look at the thistle. There's tons of other invasive plants just at Goodwin. And, you walk into any natural area, I can guarantee that you're going to see invasive plants listed on the same Class B noxious weed as thistle. Any natural area, even if it's a hedgerow, you're most likely, unless it's maintained all the time, you're going to see invasive plants. So it's something that I think we should look at addressing, but it's also something that, it's an ongoing, never-ending process with invasives. You can keep battling them and win fights, but it's a big war that you're waging against.
And I
So-
agree with that, but if you had the neighbor cut it sooner, bale it, get it off of there, do you think it'd be a less of a battle and keep things cleaned up even more?
I think we're past that point. I mean, if we were doing that before it went to seed, I would say that could be something we could consider. But I mean, we're at the point where it's, like I said, it was at seed over a week ago. It was already floating through the air, and it's past. Like if you want to mow it, you want to get it before it's even getting to that point. And again, you're still not getting rid of it by mowing it. You're just, containing the seed, I would say.
Correct. I agree with that. I appreciate your comments. Thank you for the time.
Yeah, no problem. Oops. All right. So, I mean, I think this is something that is not going to be solved right now. I mean, I don't know if anyone else has any on the pro board has any input on this. But I think, again, I think our best tactic is to cut it down when we have it scheduled, and then really go after trying to figure out the spraying and taking care of it going forward from there. All right, so I'm gonna move on. And that's actually our last topic. So is there any additional topics that anyone else had on the pro board that they'd like to discuss? Okay. And then we'll do public comment. Is there any additional public comment that they would like to add? All right, well, I'm not hearing anything. So that will do it. I appreciate everyone's comment. I appreciate everyone coming, and meeting adjourned. Thank you.
Thank you. Very efficient meeting. Thanks, Greg.
Take care. Have a good night.
Thanks, Greg.